anyways, I think the discernment is there for women. Probably women are less trusting too. I think so. You really got to prove yourself, I think.
Welcome to Unstoppable Podcast with Harry Sardinas, inspiring conversations with influential millionaires, investors, thought leaders, entrepreneurs who are making a massive difference with their innovative products and services, and sharing the challenges and the wisdom of how they sold their first million.
You're a female
Females,
founder.
I know.
You are a female founder, so I want to talk a little bit more about this because I don't think it's fair. I'll tell you why. Because my first employee, they were all girls, they were women, all of them, and they were amazing. They literally fired me for my jobs. They literally make the whole thing work better than myself. I interviewed the Minister of Finance of Zimbabwe a month ago. And this is what he told me. He told me, Harry, this is what is happening. We're running a government program where we lend money to the women and to the men in the countryside. We lend them money. They take this money. They buy some seed. They put it on the ground. They grow some tomatoes, some vegetables. They pay back the loan. Because they pay back the loan, we lend them more, and then we're encouraging the microeconomy, and it's working fantastic, the program. And he told me, but let me tell you something, Harry. You know what is working? Lending money for women. We as government are so happy lending the money for women because actually they are paying back
Yeah.
way more than the men, and they are more responsible with those loans. So he told me that the government is extremely happy to keep lending to women. That unfortunately they didn't have the same experience with men. So why women have given a blueprint all over the place that they are as capable of men to drive success, to grow business, to generate work. Why do you think that when it comes to the venture capital space, which is a male-dominated industry, when you come in to support women entrepreneurs, when you go to a conference, if these speakers, at least my organization, get famous because we brought more women to men for the stages, because every conference you go, you have 10 speakers and one is a woman, and then the other 9 are men. And so why do you think that this is all these women, this empowering context around society, and then you as a female founder, blonde, imagine I got a female founder, white and blonde. Oh God. It's like a recipe for disaster. It's a recipe for disaster. So how you manage to overcome all these bias that is on the space? So you guys have 100 times more difficult. It's already difficult as it is, and now you have 90% more challenge because you have to deal with a lot of bias out there that we don't know why it exists in the first place, but it's definitely out there.
I think women, I'm not going to speak negative about men. I will say the venture capitalists.
We are not bad people. We're just men.
The venture capitalists, when I had my very first meeting with them, I went into the boardroom and there was 14 of them, 14 men, myself, and one other woman. I learned later that woman, and I was confident going in there. I was not scared. I knew my numbers.
I know you're not scared.
I had a deck.
I know that you can handle it. Yeah, I know that you can handle all of them. I know that.
I learned that they planted that woman. That woman wasn't part of the business. She was a girlfriend of one of the main owners.
They planted there. Wow.
They planted her because they thought it would make me feel more comfortable. And the thing is, I looked at her and I addressed her for questions, and I could tell she didn't know anything about the food industry. So I felt bad for her when I learned that she was a plant, because I said, how do you work here? Like, what do you do? Anyway, I felt bad for her. I thought it was very insulting to her, not to me, but to her. But I think I know for the women that are in my business, so the majority of the business of Cali'Flour and the current business is women. We had a couple men, but mainly because I look for strong emotional intelligence, and you always hear about women being drama, but honestly, the only drama we ever had in Cali'Flour was with the men. I hate to say that.
We
And
are
the
the
women are
problem.
just,
When
they're
you have a women team,
multitaskers.
yes,
We
absolutely.
we can multitask. I typically think the men, at least the men that I've worked with, do one thing, then move to the next, then to the next. Multitasking wasn't something that was
They are
really,
very assertive as well. With this, what I
yeah.
discovered
So
working with women is that when it's not working, when they don't like, women will tell you straight away, Harry. I remember that when the guest was, I was saying, give me headache. Harry, look into this. I knew that when the guest tell me already 3 times to look into this, I really need to look into this because there
yeah.
was something fundamental wrong. With the men, we are like, oh, that's okay. So women, in my experience, um, they're
And
very assertive. Yeah.
yeah, I think that women have really strong discernment skills as well. So men can be swayed by macho other men that flash their fancy cars or what have you. A great example of this is I was in a mastermind called the 100 Mil Mastermind,
Mm-hmm.
Joel Marion, Dan Fleshman Mastermind. I sent my husband because I couldn't go to an event. So I sent him in place, and he was wooed by this guy named Aaron Wags, and very much wooed by what Aaron was saying, what he was doing. He was an ex-professional football player, all this stuff. The next thing I know, my husband's coming home and he's like, we're going to invest $500,000 in this
What?
Montana property that Aaron Wags and Wags Capital is doing. Well, we did that. I wanted to honor what my husband felt.
Yes.
But you know what? Aaron Wags got arrested last year by the FBI for taking
Mm.
investor money and paying other investors off with it, and also buying a private jet. That
Mm.
money is gone. Like, we
Went
lost
to a
that
jet, yeah.
money. But my husband was swayed by the macho, the
Mm-hmm.
bragging on
Mm-hmm.
stage about
Mm-hmm.
what Aaron Wags said about Wags Capital. And I'm calling him out because he's hurt a lot of people. But it's
Mm-hmm.
a small example of, if I had been there, I can almost guarantee I would have had the discernment to say, no, there's something different about this, and we
I
need to
mean,
watch
you
it
have
more.
experience how to analyze risk, and I think the
Well, I think in
how
women
how
we're
how to
more
mitigate risk
we're more
more than
sensitive and
mm,
less
yeah.
wooed and less swayed by fancy shiny objects. Or at least
Mm-hmm.
I am. Like, those guys on the internet that are showing their sports cars and all this stuff. Like, that doesn't, I want to see your numbers. I want to see your bank account. I think you rented that. I don't think it's real. So, anyways, I think the discernment is there for women. Um, Probably women are less trusting too. I think so. You really got to prove yourself, I think. But yeah, I believe women are
Well, there is something
great
fundamental.
business
There is
owners.
something.
Follow us for more interviews with world's most influential, audacious entrepreneurs that overcame challenges and adversity, providing you with the blueprint of how they sold their first million so you can grow your business exponentially.